Hello and welcome to this immersion session on supply chain special interest group, vision and mission. I'm very excited to welcome you to this special interest group, meet like-minded leaders in the supply chain analytics space, and really take forward the cause of supply chain analytics and how it can revolutionize or change the world, and how can we improve for betterment of society as well. With that, what you see on the screen is what we, at least I'm going to discuss today. It shouldn't be a long session, but just to share my excitement on this topic with all of you. Starts with the vision mission. That's really what I'm going to share next. We do have a few objectives, and then followed by themes. And then I think it's kind of important why it is needed, right? Why is it so important? And then one is why, and the second one is how can we become better by using by using analytics in the supply chain domain. We will also talk a bit about what is in store for future in this space, because this is ever evolving. And then the most important part, which is what's in it for you, right? I mean, how do we really make this work? What do I expect, or you expect, or 3A expects from you as a member? How can we benefit to where you go in your career, as well as how you can get excited with all the developments that are happening in the space of analytics. Stay tuned. So let me go to the vision and mission first. I'll move the slide. So the world is in a unique position, as we all know, right? I mean, if you look at it from right from the Ukraine conflict, where we have problem with a lot on the energy side, because Russia has been exporter of huge amount of energy to the rest of the world, especially to Europe. You also should look at what COVID had created in terms of bottlenecks in supply chain, not only from China, from a lot of other countries. And the big companies are still reeling under that shock. Of course, not to mention about the whole issue with shipping, and whether we have the waters are free of having the countries looking at their borders and all that. And the global economies are also looking at their own interests and trying to create some sort of a closed economy in some cases, not all cases. But there's always an ever increasing demand. As you see, post COVID, everything has opened up, and there's a huge demand, pent up demand, and which are very difficult to really fulfill. And hence not enough transportation, not enough workers, products are not there whatever people want, because it's simply not there. It was simply not imported, or not sent. Issue with inventory, so on and so forth. So I think we live in a world which is very interesting. And as always, analytics folks have always see opportunity when they see issues or concerns, right? So we see a lot of opportunity. The trends are really challenging, which means that analytics and data sciences become all the more important in this world to really solve these issues and help consumers. So that's really where we are in the world. I'll move to the next slide. So that's really why we are talking about supply chain analytics and its importance. So the objective of this special interest group will be to really what I just discussed and described, the importance of supply chain, how it can really solve some of these issues that we are talking about. How can we really adopt some of the analytics and AI that is available to advantage to, as I said, solve some of these problems, Thereby, this will result into not only the cost and competitiveness of organization, but also delighted customers, right? The aim of this special interest group is to have you and create a community of leaders, practitioners, and your aspirants who can come in. It cannot be done just by a few leaders. It will need a lot of information and a lot of ideas, and you will have a lot of ideas for sure, a lot of practices that you have, and then we will try to create some sort of a knowledge repository which can be commonly used for benefit of companies and benefit of professionals, analytics and supply chain professionals, to really propel forward the cause of improving and becoming more competitive in the supply chain space. Now, moving to the next part, it's really some of the themes, and this is not exhaustive for sure. I wanted to talk a bit about what some of these themes are in the supply chain space, right? And these are main themes. There are, as I said, there are another 30 themes which can be talked about. But just an example of the three themes are really a lot of inventory is out there in, say, some countries which are not exporting now. So how do we do optimize the inventory? Or companies have a lot of inventory. How do they make sure that unhealthy inventory is not piling up? How do we make cash available via reduction of inventory, drastic reduction of inventory? That can be one theme. You can also have supply chain visibility. That's a big challenge with a lot of big companies, especially in the B2B space, because do we have visibility into where which product lies so that we can make it available to the customer, or ensure that when the customer wants, we are fulfilling it, right? So a lot of demand forecasting, replenishment planning, etc., is needed in the visibility space. This is a big thing that is there, especially with the challenges that I just mentioned. And subsequently, similarly, it's really the tracking of those assets which will help us in that visibility. So these are top two things or three things that I'm talking about. As I said, there are a lot of other things, but these can be some of the themes that we can talk about in our special interest group to start with. And then I'm sure there will be other themes which are much more pertinent than them as well. And you see some images there just to drive home the point, the importance of some of these challenges that we have, and really helping the organizations to come out of these challenges. All right, so going by those themes, of course, the tracking will become easier nowadays, given that we have proliferation of Internet of Things, usage of AI ML in the all network, whether it's a carton or whether it's a big container. If we are really having a digital footprint or digital presence of these items or goods which are getting transported, uh, it will become much easier, right, to really track. And digitization is really something that will drive the supply chain analytics to the next level. And hence, that is really the precursor to usage of analytics, because you can't improve something that you cannot measure, right? Now, apart from that, if there is a lot of tracking available, then of course we can look at it from a forecasting perspective. We can look at the past trends, whether you use nowcasting or forecasting. I mean, nowcasting is another term that is becoming very prevalent now, because you can't use really monthly data. Given the shocks and everything that happened in recent past, you do nowcasting. And then you also do a lot of replenishment of the planning solutions, etc., thereby improving the forecasting drastically. Usage of very less data points, very recent data points, getting much more accurate predictions. How do we do more optimization, etc.? So again, the future is very exciting in this world of supply chain, usage of analytics and AI, and I cannot wait to see all the great ideas and themes that you will bring to the table to really take this and propel this forward. So, how we will do this with your support? Quite a few things that we think we will be able to do. You will, of course, see a few roundtables that will happen, which where you will hear much more diverse viewpoints than myself, and my co-chair will also, I'm sure, lead a lot of them. And as well as yourselves will be should be very supportive in this world. We will do panel discussion, we will do some debates. Of course, master classes are very helpful nowadays to really again help companies and yourself to really come out of the supply chain issues that we see. And some of them are short term, some of them are long term. So uh, it's not like if we solve the issue because of the COVID or the war, it will be there, and it was there. It will get exacerbated as we speak. So we will do a lot of knowledge sessions, recorded sessions on topics, etc. Of course, there will also be some blogs which we will request you to write. So lots in store for you as leaders in this space. Trust me, this is one of the most underrated spaces where analytics can and AI can do wonders. So, looking forward to teaming up with you and taking this forward. Thank you for listening to me.